What's Dewey?
It's the bass. LOSO underscore G.
DK, the engineer.
It's your boy, Let Have the T, B4V. You go, boy.
It's the bass.
Run down.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
All right, so I think we should all be very, very excited about the next presidential election because the chosen one, the person we haven't been asking for has answered our calls, and now Kanye is going to be our next president.
Jesus, oh my God, oh man.
This is like the definition of a story that's such a non-story. Like it's weird because it's a thing, but like not like like nothing's gonna come from it. I don't think.
Do you think he's actually gonna go through with it?
Yeah, I mean it's easy to run for president. You just gotta say you are.
Yeah, but it's one thing to like actually follow through. I hope he does. I think it'd be interesting to see two versions of Donald Trump, the black version and the white version, battle each other.
Two celebrities.
Yo, did you see that?
Wow.
My homegirl, she lives in Santa Fe now. She sent me a Trevor Noah video from like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. It was like right before like the Trump presidency was like a thing, a real thing. And Trevor Noah did a whole story that Trump is the most African president that we've ever had. Tanzania, North Africa, South Africa, West Africa, and it just saying utter nonsense. He's like, well, I hope you guys are happy. Trump is actually African. And I'm like shaking my head like, oh my God, how do we get here?
No, I can see that, bro. I can see that. Like, if you want to hear world leaders say the dumb shit, unfortunately, like, just look at like African dictators. They say like the most ridiculous shit, like
with utter confidence too. Like the shit.
Like
yes, yeah, with complete seriousness, dude.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's funny because like North Koreans say crazy shit about their leader, but like you notice like the leaders really don't say all that much, like which is a funny thing.
What about General Butt Naked? Do you remember that, man?
Oh yes, General Butt Naked from
the face off
Liberia.
I was like, what?
From Liberia.
Bullshit inside. I don't lie.
Yeah, General Butt Naked from Liberia. That's a real thing.
There's one thing that people keep saying that, like, I guess if this guy runs, that he's gonna take away votes from Biden.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it. Like I wouldn't. You know what? I believe it because I didn't. Well, foolishly I underestimated how stupid people can be, which I'll never make that mistake again. Because like when Trump ran, I was like, okay, this is a joke. Like he's never even gonna get out of the gates. But then I gradually like he started picking up momentum, and they started to actually talk to people. Like no spoofs. They really started to talk to people, and they're just like, yeah, it's time. Yeah, absolutely. It's time for a fresh face and a fresh voice and fresh ideas. And he's going to get America back on track again. And I was like, he's never held office. He's never even been student body president. Like he's never held any. Exactly. He has no whatsoever. And you really believe his quote unquote policies? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I was like, so fast forward to Jesus. I'm just like, hell yeah, there's gonna be a first of all, he's got some freaking diehard, he can do no wrong fans. Okay,
know. I've been hating Kanye for a whole year of the base, and we get responses like, "Oh, he's not that bad," and Kanye is not Kanye, and I'm like, "Yo, bro, he's not bad."
I think he's going to be great for American morale. I think if he wins, that will be automatically the coolest country.
Yeah,
and I think everybody's going to be dressed down at the White House. Like he's going to completely change the dress code. He'll probably start wearing 2 button-down shirts and popping the collar and shit like that. Like I think his songs are going to be fire. You're going to tell me he ain't going to write a fucking... He's not gonna do an album while he's fucking.
He got to do a President Kanye album, bro.
President Kanye album. Oh my God, a President Kanye album.
I think it'll be extremely entertaining and in a good way. I think hopefully not as scary as the Trump boy.
I mean,
but I think it'll be really entertaining.
The way presidency is such a joke right now, I wouldn't mind having fucking Kanye.
No, you should. No, you definitely should. You should find.
God, here's Edwin. Here's Edwin. Ed boy, the voice of reason. You let Trump happen. You let Trump happen, Ed boy. What's wrong with Kanye?
Ed boy, tell us.
I'm with Ed 1,000%, and he's gonna explain why. I know what he's gonna say. Go ahead, bro.
Kanye as president.
All right.
Why can't we have nice things?
Why can't we have nice things? Like, it's weird. So you have this sort of megalomaniac personality who's like insane, right? Like, he might have borderline personality disorder. Like, who knows what kind of psychiatric issues he has? He has no experience. Like, world leaders aren't going to take him seriously. It's like it's the worst look on every fucking like level.
We already have this.
Yeah, you basically named Trump.
No, we do.
Except we'd be cool, and we'd have probably better music, dope ass events. The gala. Do they have galas? Galas a thing over there? I'm sure.
I mean, but the thing is, it's like people
respect Trump.
Some people do. Like,
you need to stop. You need to stop.
Unfortunately, a lot of people do. And when it comes to a world stage, when you have like a strongman personality like that, like other world leaders do respond to that, whether negatively or positively. Like, you know, I can't see Kanye being stable enough. Like Trump is a piece of shit, but it's calculated. You know, it's not pure random craziness.
Son, he's gonna make the dopest Confederate gear. Son, he's gonna put MAGA and Confederate flags on. That's gonna be the album cover. It's gonna be Kanye with the MAGA hat and the Confederate flag on the fucking background.
Oh my God.
That shit is gonna be hiring me, Kanye. I got you, bro.
You know what's wild? He did an interview with Forbes like 2 or 3 days ago. I read the whole interview because I was like, I gotta see how far down the rabbit hole this guy is on this time. Like, I gotta see for myself, as always. I got time. So I read the whole. He was, first of all, this guy was like, I want to model the government after Wakanda, and I'm just like,
does he have the ore? Did he find adamantium?
Oh no, it's vibranium.
Vibranium is vibranium. Oh. And he's like, I'm like, you can't, like, okay, just off of that. Just off the strength of that, I'm already like,
what does that even mean? Like, what the fuck? Like,
fictional, bro.
Like, I'm gonna model America off of an African country with Star Trek technology. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yes. Yeah. If you were like explaining it to a novice, that's exactly what he plans on doing. And it's like, bro, I can't. Like, okay, so I've been a lifelong Ye fan since college dropout. After college dropout, I really wasn't a fan when he first came out. I was like, he's okay, and of course he grew on me. But listen, man, once dude was Sambo tap dancing with Trump, rocking the MAGA hat, talking about like hydrogens that are gonna be the new energy source, like the freaking the Hindenburg or whatever. That's the last thing that used hydrogen as a freaking source of energy, and we see how that turned out like 100 years ago. Like, bro, like he's on one. Like, he was on one then. I don't know if he's like on one now, or if it's like a combination of like his new medication with like wokeness. I don't know what it is, man. I have no clue, but it's just like, bro, I haven't taken dude serious for years, but I know that he's serious and that he's like legitimately going to try this because like I like, from an entertainment value, I want to see it play out. But if this helps Trump, I'm gonna be like, man, this was all by design. Part of me skeptical. The skeptic in me is just like, I kind of see this coming as just that, and it's like, I don't want to see 4 more years of the Orange Man. I knew what we were getting when he got the presidency. I was like, this is gonna be a shit show. I know it. Like, people, I don't know how anybody can see otherwise. And then it happened. And then you throw in a pandemic on top of that, and it's like the height, like the shittiest of shit shows.
Like
like Ye Ye comes in, he's gonna try to turn shit into like Facebook. All right, everybody rock jeans and Van shoes and take naps during the day and have a fucking Ferris wheel in the middle of the office.
He's gonna make them all wear black.
Yeah, and like we're gonna put a slide.
You heard about the crazy shit he does, bro? When he was making his album,
yeah, bro.
Everybody has to wear like the same exact color and shit like that. It's gonna be a 4-year album.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
2 CDs.
There's gonna be a slide. There's gonna be a slide in like the freaking presidential garden, like all freaking press conferences are gonna be like, I don't know, freaking at a Chuck E. Cheese or some shit. Like it's gonna be random weirdo shit, dog. And I'm not really for that right now. I'm too much of an adult for this shit. I'm just saying.
I think he's gonna start rocking his own sneakers and shit. Yeezys. He's gonna have everybody has to rock Yeezys or Jordans. And then he's gonna be all world leaders. He's gonna look so cool next to all the world leaders.
Bro, he would be such a fucking liability on not even talking domestically, but internationally. Like, can you imagine him across from Putin? Like, bro, it's like he would just crumble. Like he crumbles over the pressure of being an artist. Imagine being the president of the United States. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like that's suicide fuel for him.
We're going to war.
Like
he's gonna try and make war immediately, bro.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna go to war with the Czech Republic and lose. Some weird shit. Yeah, he's gonna wage war on countries that don't exist. Like,
it's just gonna be crazy.
It's crazy. He's gonna like try to wage war on Rock Nation and shit like that. Like, it's so stupid.
Nah,
all music has to be through good music. Watch, yo. He's gonna redo the whole White House. He's gonna paint that shit.
Paint it black.
You know what he is? He's a savant. He's like Rain Man for music. He's just like very good at making music and like mentally handicapped everywhere else. Oh, he put up the quotes. He's not even good at that. Damn. Okay. Damn.
if you could have an artist for president, who would you have?
Like a music artist for president? Fuck, man.
Kanye.
You bugging? Nah.
My dreams are coming true.
Real answers only.
I'd have Beyonce as an artist because she doesn't think for herself. That's what I need. Somebody who doesn't think for themselves.
Damn.
That's effed up.
It's just saying. Base hole says Beyonce doesn't think for herself.
Honestly, probably Rick Astley.
Torn apart. Probably who?
Rick Astley.
From the Rick Roll? Never gonna give you up.
Yeah, he's never gonna let us down. He's never gonna give us never.
I think I genuinely think
he's gonna say something.
You go would work.
Oh, okay.
You think I would?
The artist you already know as you go would make a great president.
I don't make it through.
Well, you definitely have the best press conferences. That goes without saying. Like I definitely I would go out of my way to make sure that there's always because I'm just gonna tell the truth. Like I don't know how not to. I don't know how to bullshit. I don't know how to be like, maybe the politicians answer. I don't know how to do that.
Bro,
so
I believe you, but I believe so many people go into like positions of power like that, thinking like that, and then they just get sat down and then they're like, yo, bro, here's the real fucking deal.
Right.
Like aliens are on the moon. like we're always like one word from nuclear war. You can't do this. You can't do that. And yeah, we're probably. If you,
I feel like they're sitting in the comments just like this with these 4 cameras. The niggas is like, yo, I don't know if you thought was gonna happen, bro. But let me let you know it's about to go down. Like, we'll assassinate you. Real quick.
That's exactly what happened, bro.
I'm sure a president always comes close to saying something crazy, like saying something you're not supposed to say, and the Secret Service just looks at him like like he just pulls down the shit just a little bit, just like this, just like, yo, bro.
Speaking of special people, did they figure out the name that they're gonna change it to?
Yeah. They're leaning toward the Red Tails. From my sources and things I've read on, the Red Tails is in serious discussion. It's going to be nothing Native American. They're washing their hands of the Native American genre, so to speak, because they're just like, listen, we kind of screwed it up for 80 years.
80
we better do something different.
80 years of racist.
Yeah. Pretty much 80 Years of Racist, directed by Steve McQueen, coming to a theater near you, streaming. But yeah.
Just look at the symbol. It's like literally an Indian nigga with feathers crying. Because he's like, damn, this is what y'all do.
With a is what you doing to me?
Like, yo,
Right.
With a racial slur. Yo,
like...
redskin is a racial slur. It's the definition of a racial slur. Like, there's no other way around it.
100%.
Like when you watch like old Western movies and stuff like that, and they're talking about savages and redskins,
yeah,
and they're saying it freely, and I'm just like, wait a minute. Last time I saw one, I forgot what movie it was, and it came up. I was like, wait a minute, that's a football team. Oh shit, that's wild.
Probably fucking Lock, Stock, Smoking Barrel and fucking old ass Western Western movies, bro. Might as well call the team the niggers.
Pretty much. Yo, there was a dude. He had a Washington Caucasian shirt on, and like he was walking around the streets. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was like with Vice or something, or one of those like or the Independent, one of those obscure like news sites. And he was like getting, and he was getting, he was like, yeah. And he was a black dude too. He was like, yo, I got so much hate mail and death threats. Yada yada, and I'm just out here. I just want to prove a point. He proved it for me, and I'm just like, you think?
That's fucking hilarious, though. I remember when I saw that the shirt. That shit was funny.
But it's about time they've done it. I knew it was a rat because this is the first time sponsors like pulled out. Like you go on Nike NFL shop right now, they took off all Redskin stuff, and they're just like, yo, we're not putting any of that up until y'all change your name. Freaking FedEx, Staples, all the freaking like $625 million worth of sponsors were just like, yo, until y'all change the name, like it was like we're backing out. Freaking FedEx is where they play. Their stadium was like, yo, we're moving the stadium to DC, and y'all can't move there until y'all change your name. Like, yo, come on.
The thing,
like ultimate flex.
The thing about the name change is like they'll make so much money on the reback and the rebuying of jerseys and all that. Or the buying of old jerseys to like keep the namesake. Like you're not losing, bro. Only reason you're keeping it is just to prove you're an ass. Like I know it's offensive.
Exactly.
I don't care. I know it's offensive, but I don't care. It's like, come on, bro. This is
the pettiness. The pettiness and entitlement. We talk about it on every episode, bro. Like
crazy.
That's why a lot of people really don't fuck with their honor at all. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Is red tail not a derogatory term for something else? Because it sounds like
it's not.
You red-tailed motherfucker. Like,
we're gonna find out.
Yeah, fuck you, red-tailed bitch ass. We'll find out in 80 years, right?
Some monkey's gonna come out like, yo, I'm not offended. Us and the monkeys don't like being called.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it in sign language.
We're mad offended. I don't like this.
Now I watched the Red Tail movie a couple years ago, and I'll be like, yo, it's a great idea. When I saw the uniform design and the idea for it on Twitter, I'm like, I don't really see what the issue is. That's a perfect thing. Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. They're just like, yo, this would be absolutely perfect, considering that, first of all, DC is a black ass city on top of that. Like, you call it Chocolate City for a reason. Chocolate City for a reason. Like the majority of your freaking constituents in that particular city, although it does DC, Maryland, Virginia, it's the DMV, right? It's Maryland and Virginia as well. But DC, your core base is in DC, and it's black. And they haven't been rocking with this. They haven't been rocking with the name for the longest because black people understand the plight of Native Americans. We're brothers. We're brothers and sisters. Like the freaking, like ritually, like their customs and cultures are identical to ours because they're African. If you trace their core heritage, so it's like
the Trail of Tears.
Facts. Yeah. No, the Trail of Tears were freaking. Andrew, like, they've been doing the Trail of Tears. I was talking about the Trail of Tears, but
you call that.
But now, black people, high school school. Now, black people, like, we get it. Like those are freaking brothers and sisters. Like we don't, like we get it. Like it's just white people are just, again, this is that veil of ignorance we always talk about. Like, we didn't know it was that deep. We didn't know it was that bad. We just thought it was a football team. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. And like, it's 2020. You can't hide behind that anymore.
You can't.
Definitely now with the riots. Definitely
everybody
now.
telling you,
and the
everybody telling
protests.
you to your face, like, yo, bro, that's not okay. It's not okay.
Facts.
Speaking
Facts.
of things that are not okay.
Segue.
God. All right, so this happened in Arizona, right? This chick, I forget her name. I think it's somewhere in one of these articles.
Karen.
This white chick, Karen, Target Karen. That's her name. She freaking this chick goes to a Target in I think Scottsdale or Glendale, Arizona, right? And she's a Trump supporter, so she's an anti-masker. She's 1,000% against this whole wear masks, infringing upon my freaking U.S. rights and my rights as a citizen, and and infringing upon my constitutional rights and all that other good stuff. So she just trashes a whole section of masks because Target's a mask now, just like Walmart, just like all big freaking retail stores. They sell them now, and Amazon. Everybody sells masks because this is what it is right now with the pandemic. So she trashes it, and she records herself trashing it to her live while she's wearing a freaking $40,000 watch, according to her, because she's white and privileged, obviously. So the cops follow her. The cops follow her to her home because she's on camera, and obviously people saw it and freaking called the police or called security. They follow her to her home. They catch her in the garage, and she tries to convince the police that she works for the government, that she's like Trump's new press secretary, and that right now she has. That's it. This happened. So she has them. She's like, I work for President Trump. I can call him right now. And they're just like, okay, call him. We're still going to arrest you.
That's funny.
So they arrest her. They arrest her, and it's hilarious.
Yo, she was recording that shit like she wasn't doing something wrong. Like she was like if she was a hero of some sort.
Like she did
the way
right
she was setting that shit up. That shit was funny.
Yes. This is what they do. This is what they do.
Well, finally we meet the end of the road. I've been looking forward to this shit all my fucking life. So, Target, I'm not playing any more fucking games. This shit's fucking over. This shit's all fucking over. It's over. No, do why? Why? You let everybody else do it. Let everybody else do it. I can't do it because I'm a blonde white woman.
He was arrested. For the record.
She's gonna bail out with her $40,000 Rolex.
Exactly. What the fuck are you, Ric Flair? Oh, my $40,000 Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
She got Ferragamo shoes too, freaking custom made, jet flying, limousine riding.
We got a segment every week for Karens, bro. That's how bad and entitled these people are, bro.
Yep.
We have to.
Karen moments.
We have to. Previously on Karen.
She was crazy.
Not all hope is lost though, because we have a Karen Act. Karen with the C. I guess they're not trying to be offensive.
Yes.
They're bringing this back. Is that happening for sure now?
No, this is happening. This is happening in San Francisco. They're trying to vote on it, push it through, ratify it, and I know for a fact other states are going to adopt
what
it as
is
well.
it exactly?
It's making it basically a hate crime. I think that's one revision. I've got to do some more research myself, but the actual kind of like the Amy Cooper law here in New York and in the New Jersey area, basically calling the police on minorities as a hate crime, causing civil disobedience and disturbance and this, that, and the third. Doing care. Go ahead.
On the first episode of the Rundown, you called it weaponizing police.
Facts. Yes.
Using
I did.
Like just for trivial shit, just to attack somebody.
Absolutely weaponizing white.
Part
privilege.
of the problem with police is that people feel like they need them to solve a lot of society's problems. So like a lot of things that police don't even need to be around for or aren't qualified for, that people call them. So I think it's a good thing. Like if we can discourage people any way to call cops for like non-cop shit in any fashion, that's like a good thing.
Yes, facts. That's absolutely true, dude. And again, like I was saying before, the weaponizing of white privilege, the weaponizing of thinking that, oh, the cops are going to listen to me anyway because I'm white or because you're black. Mm-hmm. That's so. It's been going on for freaking generations, and it just needs to stop. And I know that this is a step in the right direction. It's much needed. And again, it needs to be nationwide. Even if it's not, this particular act or bill is not nationwide, some version of it needs to be in every single state because it happens in every single state. It's a people of color, black, right. Particularly black and Latino, particularly, right. You know? So, but no, this is great. This is great. And
what's the penalty? Like, what? I'm curious. Because it's like, yeah, they put this in place. I'm, it's good. Less calls. I'm hoping this just like discourages people from doing it. But I want to know what the actual penalty is going to be. Because it's like, I have a feeling like if it doesn't hit your wallet, which I would assume would be like the minimal penalty, like
right.
$50, whatever, like that no one's going to really like listen or like really, I guess what's the fine line between. Well, I don't think there's a fine line between a racist,
like what's going to stop him from
calling, right?
Like, what's going to stop him from calling, right? Like what is what's the consequence?
And how to enforce it too, I guess, because some things are very obvious, but I feel like some people are gonna just like the same way they do now, kind of manipulate words and law or the system to kind of justify their place in the same exact way that they're doing it now. I think maybe. I mean, if I knew a little bit more about it, I might understand. But I think maybe it'll hopefully at least discourage like stupid calls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it should be because I'm with everybody here in agreement. I definitely need to do more research to see exactly what the guidelines and criteria of it entails. But if it can freaking if you could charge somebody for a misdemeanor or a hate crime and that goes on their record. That is definitely a deterrent to doing some dumb shit like Karening. So, I mean, that should absolutely be in place. Like, oh, you want to go apply for a job? Well, you've got a hate crime on your record. Oops. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like that would go a long way to discouraging white people from doing this. Because again, it's weaponizing white privilege. Can't say that enough. And this is what the Karen Act and similar acts, hopefully moving forward, will provide. Which is, and this came from the protests.
Yeah.
So anybody, yeah, go ahead.
Same way you gotta explain the DUI to your boss, you gotta explain this shit. Like, you gotta sit there like,
yes.
Yeah. They said I was doing it, but I didn't see it as that. Like, you gotta explain this shit too, bro. So right in the interview, you explain that shit.
I'm not racist. Anybody that knows me.
This is crazy. I don't know why they said that. He was bugging. Take us out.
Yeah. Keep it moving.
I'm reading up a little bit on it, and I guess the whole thing is like I guess dialing 911 for phony calls is clearly like, I guess it's illegal. I'm not going to say every state, but at least in California it is. But there's no penalty for any of that happen. And they give here this example of this white couple that called the cops on a Filipino person, Filipino, I think it was a guy because he had Black Lives Matter written somewhere.
Yeah.
But like, I guess little things like that, man. I hope it's money. A violator will be liable for damages of no less than 1,000.
Okay.
But it's still in draft. I guess we'll see more as this thing come along, man. But it's like, it has to have some type of. I mean, the common denominator is always money. So it has to be something money, and it has to be something reasonable.
Agreed.
Yeah. I hope it actually turns out into something good, because people be pulling stunts, bro. Like that shit in Indiana with that with the group of people in the woods, man. Please tee us up. Please tee us up before I put this video.
Okay, segue God, thank you. So I was this came up in my Twitter feed a couple days ago, and I couldn't believe it. It was from 4th of July weekend. So this black guy who's actually a freaking advocate for like equal opportunity, like housing or something along the lines of that, from his hometown. He was in Indiana with some white friends, I think about 5 white friends, and they wanted to see like a lunar eclipse or something, which is like really popular in that area around that time, around this time, you know, for the 4th of July. So he was there, and he was in the woods, and a group of Trump-loving white supremacist racists were basically badgering them, saying, "This is private property. What are you guys doing here? Get out of here." So they apologized. They were just like, "Listen, we didn't want any problems. We'll leave." But then they noticed that this group they could care less about their apology. They were going to follow them. So they just kept following him and badgering him, and they were just like, "Screw it." So they just attacked the black dude. It was like 6 of them, 1 black guy and 5 white people. They were just like, "Yo, we're just going to get the nigger." So they ran down on the black dude, overpowered him, wrestled him to the ground, and they were getting ready to lynch him. One of them said, "Get the noose." They had him posted up against a tree, and they were about to lynch him. So then his friends jumped in, and bystanders, they all had cameras, and they just jumped in and were just like, nah. This ain't about to happen.
What year are we in, bro?
What?
1820 instead of the 2020, obviously.
Please let him go. We're going to as soon as you let him go. I'm going to. Yeah, get the fuck out. Let him go. Get your phone down here and go. Shake your hand at me and go. Get the fuck out. I know. Just like all you just like you guys are paying us. I'm right here, baby. I'm not trying to go there.
This is private property. This is public property.
Let's do this. Now we're here. Now we're here, baby.
We've seen enough.
I think we've seen enough. But
that was long.
Yeah, but bro, like to answer Ed's question, what led to this again? They saw this group. The rednecks saw the group with the black dude with his 5 white friends. They just saw them, and they just and again, I'm pretty sure they've been drinking. They were drinking, like they definitely they sounded drunk, like clearly, and they're like, "Yo, nah, we ain't about to have this. We're not gonna have this black dude in our neighborhood, in our woods, like out here. Nah, F that." So they ran down on him. Like the black dude didn't do anything. He didn't go over and just like start saying Black Lives Matter, fuck you. I guarantee you that's not what happened. These rednecks saw a dude with his white friends, were just like, "Oh, they're from up north. They're liberals," as they clearly said there, and they just felt like running down on him. And I guarantee you.
So like they because I'm trying to understand like how they had him by himself. You know what I mean? Like, how did they get him in a position where they had him on his knee? And I guess I'm trying, like, where's he by himself when they got to him? I'm just curious about the little details, because it's like, yo, if you rolling in with 5, you're 6 deep with 5 other people, like,
this man ain't do nothing.
this is like a very,
that's what happened.
I feel like in most situations, this would have been a fight, although I would be very worried of a fight situation, in the middle of the woods and shit like that.
His man's just like,
I'm surprised no one swung.
His man is smarter to pull out my phone and swing my fist. I don't want to get my shirt dirty.
He did a Facebook post where he explained the entire story verbatim. And I'm pretty sure like at some point he might have ventured off by himself, or like to go look for something, or they just he said 5 dudes like ran down on me. Like that's the way he made it seem. So even if he was with his 5 friends, you got 5 people just coming and attacking you, just run down on you. You dig? And he's like, "Yo, they easily overpowered me. It's 5 of them." It's not like 1 or 2. It's 5 sweaty, dirty, fat rednecks. You feel me? Like running down on them. That's a lot of weight. So, but thank God, like they intervened, and I'm going to be following this story. I'm hopefully going to have some details by next week's time. Like, I want these dudes arrested. I want them charged with freaking attempted murder. I want them freaking like, give them the George Floyd treatment. Battery, assault, dude, the whole 9. Because like I have it. I share it. One of them got identified on Facebook. He deactivated his account, but dude, it's in the portal. Like one of them got identified. All of them got identified. Like 3 or 4 of them. Twitter police already did their job. They got them already. They got their names. They know dudes where they work, where they live, where they from. They got all that already. So I'm just waiting for arrests and indictments. That's what I'm waiting for because they've already been ID'd. So but it's national news now. Don't get it twisted. Like it took like a day, but it's national news. Everybody knows that this happened in Indiana. And even Diddy, like freaking P. Diddy even like freaking tweeted about it. He's like, yeah, it's a problem. Let's do something.
On the topic of other white people that don't care.
I can speak to this because this hits home. I'm actually my payroll for the Harlem Wizards was suspended, so I've been collecting unemployment since April 1st, I believe. Like I went on it March 11th, and I started getting payments April 1st. So with the CARES Act, that expanded unemployment, it extended unemployment for an additional 13 weeks, and it also gave everybody who's on it an additional $600 a week on top of their unemployment benefits. So, you know, CATS is good right now. They're good. It's scheduled to end July 31st. That would be the last week or 25th through 31st. It depends what state you're in. It's supposed to end. The Republicans never wanted to do it in the first place. The Republicans were just like, okay, give them an extension, but we're not going to give them more money. We just gave them a great stimulus, one-time check payment. So that's all the money they're going to get. And Democrats were just like, we got to give these people something because there's no timetable to this COVID thing and every state is different.
Right.
So Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, I believe that's his name, and he's also a senator in the state of Kentucky, in Dixieland.
He looks like Emperor Palpatine, son.
I've seen that meme. I've seen that meme so many times. It's too funny, and we've talked about this too off camera. But he's so trash. Okay, this guy here is like he's one of Trump's handpicked buddies, who's just like they never wanted to give this in the first place. They never wanted to do the $600. They never did. Like his goal is for it to end on the 31st when it's supposed to. And he had a interview a couple days ago actually, where he basically said that the people who are making $40,000 or less, we're going to try to focus on them with this final round of stimulus. So it's twofold. They want to end this $600 extension, as well as they want to basically handpick who gets the next round of stimulus. And they want to make the next round of stimulus the last round of stimulus. They don't want to help people out at all moving forward after. Yeah, exactly. Now, keep in mind, there's no timetable to COVID. None whatsoever. Every state that's reopened prematurely, they've closed because their numbers have gone up. So with that said, the incentive to go back to work is not there right now. The Republicans, led by this asshole, I call him Bitch McConnell, like alliteration right there. They basically they feel like the unemployment extension, the $600, is discouraging people from going back to work. They want people to go back to work. They want America to get back to work, the economy to get back going, to get back to whatever the V or the U or whatever bell curve you want to use.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's not safe. It's literally not safe to do that, and there's no timetable. So Democrats are just like, what the hell are you talking about? They passed the HEROES Act last month, and by a the Democrat-led House, but it's a Republican-led Senate. They're arguing it, and they want to kill it. The HEROES Act would extend the $600 until the end of the year, until January, when we have a better grasp of what the hell this COVID thing is nationwide. Republicans don't want to do that, and they want to do, again, another one-time payment, and then figure it out on your own, America, which is flagrantly wrong. You guys have the floor.
I mean,
I want another check.
Facts.
Can we have another check, son? That should definitely help me for
You're
sure.
using to buy fireworks.
I could get the rationale about removing $600 a week if you're trying to get people to work, right? I'm not saying it's the right thing, but it makes sense because there are a lot of people that I know personally who are making more money off of unemployment than they would otherwise, right? What's the incentive to work if you're making more via unemployment? I guess the Republican position is, or the more right-wing position is that the faster we get the economy going, even at the cost of lives, it may be worth it. And it's interesting because I heard the argument that the economy not working, like people being out of work, can have a lot of, like, I guess, negative externalities. Like how many people are suffering because they can't work, you know? I don't necessarily buy it, but like that's kind of like the line of reasoning, you know? So it makes sense. It makes sense. It's not right, but it makes sense.
What are the views of the Republicans? What are the views of Democrats? Republicans is like, work hard, you gotta work hard, right? Democrats is like,
I mean, it's
we all work together or some shit. Like what are
it's not that's simple because a lot of people have varying views, so it's not that cut and dry. But you could basically say that on one side, the more left-leaning side is like, we need stimulus, we need support. Like, we don't know how long this shit's gonna last. We need to support people until they can work safely. Republican side is saying, oh, we've already quarantined, numbers are going down. We need to get back to work or else our economy is going to suffer, because the economy not moving and us being in a recession will ultimately cause more deaths and hardship in the long run than COVID. And that's like the competing ideas.
But we don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
So both of them are bullshit.
We don't. I mean, we don't know. But we do know what COVID can do. We do know we have over 100,000 dead. We do know that, you know.
Yeah.
That's what we know for sure.
Only we had other pandemics as examples to look to, you know, at this time.
I mean, 1918 actually happened.
I mean, the flu kills about.
Just saying.
I mean, the flu kills about 40,000 people a year anyway, so it's not like this is some completely like new shit. Like, how many people in America died of flu?
You should look that up.
I'm curious.
How many people
right
died
now. I'm looking up right now.
What is that?
No. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, not to mention in 1918 we lost 50 million people because of that. That was the last major pandemic, was in 1918. So that's what we can go off of. So Republicans, there you go.
So yeah, well, okay. CDC estimates influenza was associated with more than 35.5 million illnesses, more than 16.5 million medical visits, 490,600 hospitalizations, and 34,200 deaths during the 2018-2019 influenza season.
Yeah. So multiply that by 3, and you've got COVID, right? Actually, by 4, because it's 122,000 as of now. So yeah, multiply that by 4.
And we're not even in the flu season yet.
Exactly. We're just 4 months in.
We're gonna see that, you know, that line that you guys forgot about from algebra. That's what we're gonna see. That shit look like an asymptote.
So the classic argument that influenza is out the window because now COVID has way more deaths than influenza has had from 2018 2019.
Yep.
Hey man, y'all want to go to Atlanta? Take it all in.
Nah, man, it cracks me up too. And I was talking about this with my mother. It's just like, yo, you got the freaking gun-toting, Bible-thumping, freaking Republican, mostly poor whites that are like all about this Republican wave. Meanwhile, the CARES Act is meant to help you. Yes, it's a democratically pushed bill. So is the HEROES Act. Yes, it's Democrat-led, but it's designed to help you, even though it's your Republican supporter. The Republicans didn't want the CARES Act, and they don't want the HEROES Act. They don't want anything that is going to quote unquote increase the budget deficit. Because where are they going to find the money? Meanwhile, they just gave 500 trillion or whatever to banks and freaking big business during the freaking pandemic and bailouts. They found the money for that. Why can't they find the money for this?
Bro.
Something, bruh. 500 million. It was like 500 billion, or I think it was 500 billion. I don't think it was 500 billion. It's like 500. Like 500. It was like 500 billion that they gave to big corporations, including Amazon. You know what I mean? And bailout money. So it's like if they want to find the money, they can find it. They just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens. There's supposed to be another stimulus coming soon. We'll see which ones of us actually did. All of us get Trump checks? I got a Trump check.
Spent mine on fireworks. I told you. What was the fireworks?
Yo, I don't even know how to segue into this, bro. There's no segue. This shit is
I'll speak on it.
Sad, man.
I'll speak on it.
Well, yeah.
So throughout the July 4th, which we don't recognize anymore,
no,
a lot of young children were just dying from gun violence. And it was consecutive, like by the span of 16 hours, it was a new death of a new child. The most heart-wrenching, to the point where an 11-year-old died in my gosh, how old was the kid that passed? But it's just it was a trying weekend. It was a trying time, and it was just scary to sit and like the thought of burying your child is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yo, so no, that's crazy. So like, what exactly happened in these type of situations? Was it just like regular, just violence in the neighborhood? Just a lot of people were out. Like, is this I wouldn't say normal, but every year, do we typically have problems with like kids getting killed and shit like that, like around July?
Yeah, like this is like all of these cases, because it was a CNN article as it shows in the clip. I read the entire article on each of the kids that died, and every single instance it was two rival gangs or a group of black individuals who had beef or had a dispute or whatnot. Yeah, one of them was at a mall. Another one was outside of a freaking restaurant or something. Like another one was at a gathering. Like it was out in public, a public place. A group of people had beef with another group of people, and they just started busting. And these kids were out there, wrong place, wrong time. They get hit with a stray bullet. It's over with.
The little bodies can't handle it, and they pass.
They can't handle that trauma, and a lot of it happened in Chicago. Like I think two of them were in Chicago. Like this is very common in Chicago. Very common.
Not surprising. Chicago has been going crazy this year.
Yeah.
Chicago has been nuts. Like the situation there is so crazy, bro. Like Chicago is approaching like third world country status when it comes to murders, bro.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Like
that shit is crazy.
Yeah, gun violence has been a problem in the black community for quite some time, and the only thing though is the only thing is my issue comes when people who are against Black Lives Matters, they try to use that as a deflector from police brutality. They're just like, well, yeah, police brutality might be a problem, but blacks are always killing blacks, yada yada yada. And it's like,
I mean,
here we go. You feel me?
Yeah, it's like both could exist at the same time. There could be a problem with black on black violence and be a police problem at the same time. It doesn't always have to be either or, depending on what side you think you fall on. Like they're both huge fucking problems. Like, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. And it's a complicated problem because it has to do with, I'm not absolving people who do that type of shit within the community, right? Because you can't get it passed if you're doing this type of shit. You can't get a pass. But it all boils down to socioeconomics, bro. Because violence and high crime is endemic. Is amongst all demographics. When it comes to poverty, so it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, and if you want to take it a step further, it goes back to the systemic oppression, right? Like you have a neighborhood that has low income thanks to the wealth gap. You feel me? They've got a lot of issues that don't exist in more affluent or more white or non-black communities. You dig? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like every problem can be, in my opinion, every major problem can be traced to some level or some form or some variation of systemic oppression, the good old American way. I really believe that. And the more I've read and the more research I've done during quarantine on this matter, and I look back to the research I did in college, because I got my minor in African-American studies. So we studied a lot of this stuff at Penn State, dear old state, all that good stuff. So it's like, yo, a lot of these issues can be traced right back. They're the aftershocks of slavery. There's no other way to look at it. They just are. They just are. You can't tell me that they're not. You can't tell me that systemic oppression now in 2020 isn't just some new freaking twisted variation of systemic oppression during the transatlantic slave trade. You know what I mean? It is. It is what it is. So people need to be mindful of that when they see issues like that. Educate yourself. Brothers and sisters.
The shit was made to span generations. So for it to be going so strong is because it was created to do just that, to keep going strong.
Facts.
It was created to do just that. Even down to the Jim Crow laws. They had the shit set. So that, no matter what you think you about to do, we got a plan for that too, man. Like, I already looked ahead of your future, bro. Like they thought it meticulously and nuanced. The same way we're trying to break it down, the same way they thought of ways to stop us from breaking it down. So
exactly. And I think Ed, you even mentioned this on the last episode. I was rewatching it last night. That to really break down oppression, this is going to, because this is like Fab said, this is a systematic system that's been put in place. We're going to have to systemically break down each variable of this freaking Rubik's Cube that is oppression to end issues like this. It's not an overnight solve, right. So but these protests are a great start. They really are, because hopefully they can put the stuff in place to really solve the real key issues that can prevent things like this from happening generations from now.
And go ahead, Abba.
No, I agree, but I do think one thing that, a lot of people, when they talk about systemic issues, I believe people in general, particularly poor people, people of color, I think that they see too much of their power, in the sense that there's always this, just due to history, right? And due to how people are raised, there's always this overarching thing where it's like, oh yeah, well, everything is systemic oppression, this, that, and the third, which can be the truth, right? But then you get to the point, like, what do you do about it, right? It's like, it's one of those things, like, even looking at history, right? So you have a better historical, view than I do, probably, Ugo, just because you studied it formally. But it's like, I look at history, right? And then conditions improve when the people who are disadvantaged plan and make efforts as a collective to improve the situation, right? So we could wax poetic all day about systematic oppression, but ultimately it comes down to us to really, put it to bed. That's what I think. It's a combination, right? Like, when I mean us doing it, I mean, like, what's happening now, like protests, like, that's doing it. Like, even small things, like going to college, just doing it. Like, having discussions is doing it. We need the continuous momentum to do it on a grand scale. But, we can't just see and say, oh yeah, it's their fault, it's history's fault. We have to just stand up and do something about it, right? Because victimhood is a mentality. Like, it's not, I don't think it's an actual condition. Like, it's definitely a mentality for sure. and I think we need to shed that as a group in general, or no matter what group you're part of. Like, fuck that victim shit. It's like things happen to you, things happen to your people, and you have the ability to change it.
Yes, sir.
And to bring some eyes to that, rest in peace to the children who died over or any child that died from gun violence. Rest in peace to them.
That's sad, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
While we're on the topic of oppressors, Garden of Heroes thing.
Okay, so
what's the shit about, bro?
I'll tee this up. So,
I actually like that photo though. The cameraman. Props to the cameraman, because this is actually a good photo.
Cameraman's been on point for a lot of these articles by these independent media sources. So, shout out to the real journalists out there. One time. Basically, this was about 2 weeks ago, I believe. Trump signed an executive order protecting monuments. He basically wants to discourage people from tearing down Columbus statues and Robert E. Lee statues. And
that ship is sailed.
Like, yeah. Listen.
No pun intended. Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay. I
see what you did there. I'm picking up what you put down. So I saw a freaking picture of like a Columbus statue, like in Newark, like sailing out of the town on the back of a trailer or something. That was pretty dope. I shared that. That was dope. But anyway, Trump feels like he feels like people that tear down statues are desecrating history. They're desecrating American history. And so he signed the executive order for the Monument Act. Nothing against police brutality, because that's not an issue. We're just gonna ride that one out, see what happens. But the Monument Act, it was an executive order that he signed. And shortly after that, when he had his rally in South Dakota with in front of the Mount Rushmore, a whole bunch of Trump supporters were there, and I'm pretty sure the COVID cases went up afterward. But again, that's neither here nor there. He announced that this Garden of Heroes was going to be built. Don't know when it's going to be built. Hopefully, he's not in office when construction may or may not begin. President Yeezy might be in by then. Who knows? But
he's still going to do it. He's going to do it anyways.
But I was watching a video with Al Sharpton, and on his show on I think MSNBC, they were breaking down exactly who is going to be in this Garden of Heroes, and it's going to have about 26 people. 18 are going to be white. I think 6 or 7 of them are going to be black, including Jackie Robinson and Dr. King were the featured people. But there were
how many are going to be white, or how many total?
26 people total.
And how many black?
I think about 6 or 8, between 6 to 8.
Any women?
No. They're about.
Come on.
They're about 4.
That's not.
There's not enough space for women. Oh, there are
a couple. There were a couple women. There were a couple women. I don't know the exact number. I just know that there were no Latino and no Native Americans whatsoever.
We're 13% of the population, and we're getting like 25-30%. Okay, all right. We're moving forward.
Okay, but like I said, there are no Latinos. No Dominicans, no Native Americans.
Where's my Dominican representation, bro? They always talk about Dominicans.
Aventura is not in the Garden.
That's bananas.
He should be. Romeo Santos. Yeah. Mark Anthony statue.
Mark Anthony's not there. Alex Rodriguez isn't there. J-Lo's not there. David Ortiz, Manny Machado, none of them are there. Sorry, bro.
Crazy. It's crazy.
So yeah,
Garden
of Heroes. This is where his focus is, man. But this is the bullshit, dog. Like, you guys can speak on it too, but this is the bullshit. Like, why is this in the midst of a global pandemic, in the midst of in the midst of a racial awakening? Why is this a thing? Because it's an election year. Because it's an election year. That's what you're going with. Okay. All right, election year.
That's 100. Not even election year. I mean, just given.
It is an election. It is an election year.
No, I mean it is right. But I think if this would happen during his presidency, I think this would be something that he would do. Like hey, let's make a Hall of Heroes and let's put a bunch of black people in it too. So you know what I mean. So they don't have anything to complain about. You know, it's purely like it's
pandering. This is political pandering 2.0. You believe
every episode black pandering.
Yeah, I mean it's pandering to his base, right? And then it's also like he can pretty much say at any time, you know, yeah, you took down all these statues, but I put up, you know, the Garden of Heroes, which has Jackie Robinson, and he was a Negro who hit balls, and it's purely a political.
He probably still says Negro.
He still says colored. He still says colored for sure. There goes my blacks. There goes my African American friend in the back. His words.
While we're on the topic of Trump's biffles.
Okay, so who's? I know me and Ed have seen this. You know, Ed, you can talk about it. Please talk about it.
Oh, they about to make it disappear.
If she makes it to August, then that'll be a fucking accomplishment. Like if she doesn't get fucking 2 bullets in the back of her head and they'll call it a suicide, then it's crazy. So Ghislaine Maxwell was basically the accomplice, or supposed, alleged accomplice of Jeffrey Epstein, and she was finally arrested in her Massachusetts quote unquote hideout. And the feds have her, and apparently she's willing to give up names, and which means they're probably gonna give her some sort of sweetheart deal. But I would be highly, highly, highly surprised if A, she doesn't end up dead, or B, if she just ends up giving like bullshit names, like like scapegoat names, like people that have been involved, but not like
major players, right?
So she might give some bullshit names, but I mean, it'll be very interesting if she somehow implicates Prince Andrew or Trump or Bill Clinton or any of the major names who were around him over the years. That would be fucking bananas, bro.
Facts.
Anytime Chrissy Teigen, Biden's wife, tweets, somebody retweets her and says, "Why are you on the list?" Every time somebody retweets like, "But why are you on the list though?" Like,
yes, I've seen that.
What's happening? Why are you on the rape filing? Like, what's going on?
Like, arrest Breonna Taylor's killers. That's cool. But why were you on the list?
Right. Like,
that's crazy. Rape Island. That's nuts. And UFC ran with it, made Fight Island. But yeah, keep going.
I mean, she's looking at 35 years, yo. Like that, just for starters. Now, mind you, I'm pretty sure she's in her 50s, I believe, age-wise.
That's pretty much a death sentence. Like her age, and then the stress that she's gonna go through. That 35 years is a death sentence.
They're gonna put her in a good jail.
No.
Send it to an island.
No, bro. If you get fed time, she's probably going to she's going to fed prison. That's not fun.
They don't have Epstein's jail cell as a message. Just prepare yourself. Like
there's no celebrity federal prison. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, they might give her like some sort of sweetheart deal if she talks and says what they want. But it's going to be really interesting. Like, the feds, they're incentivized to get a big verdict. It's interesting because people who've been affiliated with the government and who still have pull are implicated in this. And the feds generally have an incentive to prosecute. And I wonder if those big names get implicated. I wonder how the feds are going to move forward with this. It's going to be really interesting.
Agreed. I mean, because they could have arrested her for a while. They had her under surveillance since last December.
Well, that's what the feds do. That's what the feds do. Feds don't arrest you. They only arrest you if they're sure they can if they're pretty much sure they can convict you. Like if they can't, like if they don't think they can convict you, they're not going to arrest you. They're just going to wait. Like they do the same thing with like big gangsters, mobsters, terrorists, shit like that. Like
family member. No, fine.
Yeah. That's the difference between like local police or local jurisdictions. They'll just fucking they might have a little bit of investigation, but like feds don't. Like if the feds knock on your door and you're arrested, you're done.
It's a matter of like when the feds come, it's like, okay, so how much time do you want? That's when the feds come. That's the conversation that takes place.
Because they don't want to look stupid, right? Like because like feds look really bad if they have a high profile person, they bring them to trial. Or, they can't even get a grand jury conviction. They're going to look really, really bad. So it's like, it's kind of political too. They want to prosecute you. They want to,
They gotta look good every time, basically.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's why these shows that we love, like I love Ozarks. I love it, but it's so freaking not. It's so impossible to happen, bro. Like that's not how this works. Like if the feds were sitting on,
I believe it.
Like, bro. Okay. If you're laundering money and the feds think you're laundering money, they're not gonna almost catch you every time. That's not how this shit works, dude. I'm sorry. Like, no. If the feds think you're laundering money, they don't care how long it takes. They'll sit on you for 4 years, for 5 years. But trust and believe that when they had enough on you, they're not going to almost catch you. They're going to catch that ass. And it's going to be, okay, how much time do you want? Because you can argue and say that you've been running a Dairy Queen this whole time. We've got 5 years worth of surveillance to show us otherwise. Mm-hmm. So how much time do you want?
Bro, they'll leave you alone for over a decade. The whole point of them getting conviction, like they want a paper trail, right? So if they think you're going to do something, they're going to let you do it.
They're going to let you.
They're going to let you continuously do it. They're going to let you like, I listened to this podcast. It was a economics podcast, but it was talking about money laundering. And, the part of how Miami was built was like through drug money, right? And what happened was that there are a lot of banks that were just established just essentially to launder drug money. Most of them aren't in existence today or were absorbed by bigger banks or just went out of business. But there's this one group of feds who actually created a bank, like literally created a bank and laundered money for years, like made friends with guys, like knew people on a first name basis, like until they could say, okay, we have.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's some crazy movie shit.
That is some movie shit.
This is what they do, bro.
That is movie shit. Oh, my bad.
And they have like, and it's not, and again, like, this is why movies are so like unrealistic. It's not like, oh, the department can't afford to keep this case going, dog. The feds have an unlimited bank account, bro. Like it's federal money, it's taxpayer money.
Yeah,
you're paying. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no limit to how long they can sit on you. Like overtime, freaking manpower, this, that, and the third. They've got departments for every single type. Yeah, for every single type of crime you can think of, they've got a department for it. So, and they've got resources for it, and it's federal. So it's like, yo, we can invest as many hours as this takes, as many days as this takes.
We're gonna find you.
We're gonna find you. We're gonna get a conviction, and we're gonna get a promotion out of it, and somebody's gonna write a book about it. That's how it works.
Or a movie.
Or a movie. With a loving, or a movie based on a book.
Epstein shit will 100% be a movie, like 100%.
I think Trump's presidency is going to be a movie. It's going to be a musical.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, hell yeah.
It's going to be a
bro. It's going to be made by Kanye.
Bro, if the Dick Cheney movie got made, why the hell do you think this ain't going to be made? Shit.
Trump movies are going to be a whole fucking genre.
Facts.
Like it's going to be a whole genre.
Facts.
They're going to be documentaries with him in it, with his family in it, with the fucking White House porter in it. Like anyone who has come in contact with him. There's going to be theatrical movies. There might be a bunch of off-Broadway plays. There might be an
like Hamilton, just Trump.
Yo,
be mad, bro.
Trumpleton.
Manuel Miranda.
Yo, Donald Trump Jr. might drop a track or two featuring like Future. Like, bro, it's gonna be crazy.
I completely agree with Ed, bro. Like, dog, this is a gold mine. His own sister's coming out with a book. Like, what, next week? Like, documenting like all his
and no one gives a
like,
fuck about her. Like,
exactly,
bro.
Her
name? Do you? I don't know. Like, what?
Dog, I didn't even know she existed until I saw the report. I'm like, oh, he's got a sister. Oh shit! But nah, she was like, yeah, and freaking CNN did a whole feature piece on it. They're just like, yo, we talked to her. Here's some excerpts from the book. She was like, yo, she remembers sitting around the dinner table, and like, for either family members are just like, yo, you're not really about to run for president, are you? Like, you got 5 bankruptcies. What the fuck do you know about politics? No. He did it and won.
Yo, if he has any sort of sense, I don't think he should go bankrupt again. He's going to be basically printing money for the rest of his life.
God.
Like, his whole family is going to be printing.
He'll find a way.
Like, the best thing he could have done for the Trump brand was become president. Like, that shit's values is definitely in. I mean, it was, he didn't actually have money. Like, all his money was in like real estate and whatever brand recognition he had left. Now it's like legit, bro.
Yeah, but that was the point. That was the point. That was the point of his whole.
Yeah. That
was the point of, like, his sister mentioned this, like, in the excerpt, because I read it. Again, it's quarantine. I got time to read. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, his sister mentioned, she's like, listen, the whole point of the presidency was supposed to skyrocket his brand. He's like, listen, I'm a freaking reality TV star. You know what I mean? I do have these 5 bankruptcies, but if I could freaking get just enough notoriety for running for president and lose, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not trying to win. You know what I mean? I'll be good. Like, my stocks will go up. People will want to stay in my hotels. They'll want to freaking give me more loans and give me more money, and my value and net worth will go up. That was the whole point. And then he actually won, and it's like, oh shit, I gotta actually like pretend to be a politician now. All right.
Yo, job is hard.
Yo, the Trump presidency is like the best 2-minute drill of all time. Like, his original campaign is the best like Hail Mary pass ever.
Doug Flutie. It's the Doug Flutie Hail Mary pass. I'll cry.
Yo, it's crazy, man.
2020 is crazy, bro. We're living this crazy ass funny. And why is it 2020? Right? Now another thing. 2020.
It's like the show.
If it wasn't for this crazy bullshit, we wouldn't have a show. So
facts. This is what, shout out to the Mayans. This is what they predicted.
The end is me.
God. Yo, I remember a few years ago, people legit thought there's gonna be fucking like an apocalypse. Oh my God, people are so.
This shit happens like every like, yes. I feel like few months. Some apocalyptic world-ending event is gonna happen.
I mean, look outside. Is it not? No.
No, this is it. This is it, guys. This is it. This is definitely it.
Right. So one day someone will be right, but
I think this is it. I think this is the end of not the end of existence, but definitely the end of a lot of norms that were taking place pre-COVID and pre-protests. Exactly. When COVID ends, hopefully next year.
It's gonna be different.
Shit's gonna be different. It has to be, and especially when the protests, dog, it's already starting, dog. All these bills and all this crazy shit that's been going on with the pandering of politicians and entertainment and actors and freaking CEOs and shit, and cats getting freaking racists being exposed and Karens and all this shit. All this is happening because in this year, in the last few months, it's bananas. It's not by chance, dog. It's not by chance.
Base rundown is documenting it all.
Facts. We're here, baby, every week.